Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Akansha Parimu. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 9th of November. Students fight toxic smog as schools reopen and pollution hit Indian capital. Supporters of Pakistan's ex-PM Imran Khan block roads in new protest. And Nepal earthquake kills at least 6 rattles parts of India. And now for all the details. Students in the Indian capital, New Delhi, were exposed to pollutants as they stepped out of their homes to go to their schools that reopened after being shut down due to pollution on Wednesday. The overall air quality index stood around 300, which is considered very poor.
Students in the Indian capital, New Delhi, were exposed to pollutants as they stepped out of their homes early on Wednesday to go to their schools that reopened after being shut down due to pollution. Primary schools were reopened and curbs were lifted on certain construction activities after pollution levels improved to very poor category from severe. The overall air quality index stood at around 300 in most parts of the city. Children reached their schools wearing masks to protect themselves from the smog hanging over the city that pushed the air quality in the unhealthy category in many places.
बच्चे मतलब स्कूल आ रहे हैं, अभी भी है थोड़ा बहुत, कल शाम को भी बहुत सारा पोल्यूशन था, तो इस वजह से मतलब स्कूल तो ना ठीक है, बच्चों की मतलब पढ़ाई भी थोड़ा सा वो हो जाती है, तो मैं तो चाह रहा था कि 2-4 दिन और बाद खुले स्कूल ताकि क्या और पोल्यूशन थोड़ा सा कम हो, तो वही है, चलो ठीक है, अगर खुल गए तो क्या कर सकते हैं, अब तो लाना तो है ही बच्चों को.
The national capital and surrounding areas are enveloped in a layer of smog each winter as cold, heavy air traps construction dust, vehicle emissions and smoke from the crop stubble burning in the states of Punjab and Haryana. Air quality could worsen later this week, the System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research said on its website.
The United States is committed to work with India on its transition away from Russia, the US State Department spokesperson said on Tuesday, adding India should decrease dependence on Moscow as it is not reliable. The remarks came after India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar said India will continue buying Russian oil as it is advantageous for the country.
Hours after India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar asserted that India will continue buying oil from Russia as it is in the country's advantage, US Department of State spokesperson Ned Price emphasized it is in the collective interest that India should decrease dependence on Russia as it is not reliable. Tuesday marked the 5th meeting this year between Jaishankar and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. India has emerged as Russia's largest oil customer after China as refiners snap up discounted Russian oil shunned by Western buyers over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Ned Price said the countries have learned the hard way that Russia is not a reliable source of energy. But again, the issue is of India's bilateral interest with Russia, he added.
Russia is far from reliable in any realm. So it is not only in the interest of Ukraine, it is not only in the interest of the region, of the collective interest that India decrease its dependence on Russia over time, but it's also in India's own bilateral interests, given what we've seen from Russia.
This comes as the Secretary of US Treasury, Janet Yellen, is scheduled to visit India this week. Although India, a traditional ally of Russia, has not explicitly condemned the Russian invasion, Indian PM Modi had earlier told President Vladimir Putin that it is not an era of war.
In news from Pakistan, supporters of Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan have launched fresh protests against the assassination attempt on their leader, blocking roads in multiple locations in Rawalpindi city that has brought life to a grinding halt. This comes as Khan's PTI party is slated to resume its Long March rally on Thursday.
Supporters of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan blocked roads near capital Islamabad for a second consecutive day on Tuesday, disrupting traffic and forcing schools to close, days after an assassination attempt targeted their leader at a recent anti-government rally. The former cricket star, who has been pressing for a general election since he was ousted as Prime Minister after losing a parliamentary vote in April, was shot at the rally last Thursday. He is recovering from leg wounds. Khan supporters burned tires as they set up protest camps across roads, with police making a number of arrests. They said an FIR or the first information report should be registered against those whom Khan has accused.
हम लोग ये चाह रहे हैं कि जो खान साहब नॉमिनेट किए हैं बंदे वो उनके खिलाफ FIR हो जाए। उस सिलसिले में अभी तक FIR नहीं हुई है, उस हवाले से हम यहाँ पे एहतजाज कर रहे हैं और ये कल से एहतजाजी मुजाहरा चल रहा है और इंशाल्लाह उस टाइम तक चलता रहेगा जब तक खान साहब के जो जायज़ मुतालबात हैं वो पूरे ना हो जाए।
Meanwhile, former Foreign Minister and senior PTI leader Shah Mahmood Qureshi notified that his party's long march would resume on Thursday from Wazirabad. The march was halted on November 3 after Imran Khan sustained bullet injuries. The political tension comes as Pakistan is grappling with economic turmoil exacerbated by recent flooding that the government estimates caused economic losses worth $30 billion.
Moving on, amid an all-time high inflation, the price of LPG cylinders has been skyrocketing in Gilgit Baltistan. Locals have claimed it has made their lives difficult as it is an essential requirement to light up fire and keep themselves warm amid winters. They have blamed the government has been apathetic to their plight and have demanded relief.
With the advent of winters, locals in Gilgit Baltistan are reeling under the high price of liquefied petroleum gas LPG cylinders amid an all-time high inflation. Residents have also raised concern over frequent load shedding that has been forcing them to resort to cutting trees for their basic needs. A local journalist said the government should check the price rise, which has made survival difficult, while the felling of trees for cooking, heating and other needs has left the already fragile ecology on a brink.
महंगाई की भी बात करें हम तो महंगाई आसमान पर पहुंच चुकी है। घरेलू जो गैस है वो बहुत महंगी है, लोगों को गैस खरीदने में भी मुश्किलात का सामना है। ईंधन क्योंकि गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का इलाका यहाँ पर सर्दियों में लकड़ी का ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल होता है, तो लकड़ भी इस वक्त महंगा हो चुका है। एक तरफ लकड़ी के काटने से जो मौसमी जो आलूदगी पैदा हो जाती है, ग्लेशियर्स पर इसका असर पड़ता है। इसकी वजह से भी लोग इस वक्त इस मौसम में सख्त मुश्किलात का सामना कर रहे हैं।
Locals in Gilgit Baltistan blame that the Pakistan government has repeatedly turned a blind eye to the problems faced by the people in the illegally occupied region. Years of continued neglect by Islamabad has made Gilgit Baltistan one of the most backward regions under Pakistan's rule.
At least 6 persons were killed when a powerful 6.6 magnitude earthquake jolted the remote mountainous region of western Nepal early on Wednesday. Tremors were also felt in parts of India, including capital New Delhi. However, there were no reports of damage on the Indian side.
An earthquake of magnitude 6.6 in Nepal early on Wednesday killed 4 children and 2 adults and injured 5 others as several houses collapsed in the western district of Dot. Footage from the Nepali army showed mud and brick houses destroyed by the quake in the Himalayan country and rescuers digging through the rubble to look for survivors. Nepal's Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba took to Twitter to express condolences to the families of those who died in the incident. He also instructed the relevant agencies to provide immediate relief and rescue in the affected areas. The quake was centered about 100 miles northeast of Pilibhit, a populous city in the neighboring Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, and occurred at a depth of 10 km. The European Mediterranean Seismological Center said. Tremors were also felt in several areas in northern India, including capital New Delhi.
तो ये ज़्यादा झटका फील करने का मतलब है कि जहाँ-जहाँ इसकी इंटेंसिटी परसेप्टेबल है, जहाँ तक इंटेंसिटी 3 और 4 जहाँ पर हुई होगी, तहाँ तक पहुँचने में हमको होगा। जैसे दिल्ली में हमारा 3 तक आया इंटेंसिटी, तो हम काफ़ी उसको फील किए। और दिल्ली का जो नीचे में जो एलुवियल सॉइल है वो काफ़ी एम्पलीफाई करता है.
There were, however, no reports of damage on the Indian side, though the quake woke up many residents in several cities, including Gorakhpur and capital New Delhi.
The Taliban has revealed the final resting place of movement's founder Mullah Omar, whose death and burial they kept secret for years. Rumors surrounding Omar's health and whereabouts abounded after the Taliban were kicked out of power in 2001 by a US-led invasion, and they only admitted in 2015 that he had died 2 years earlier.
The burial site of Taliban's co-founder Mullah Muhammad Umar Mujahid was disclosed in Afghanistan's southern Zabul province earlier this week. After his hierarchy was dethroned from power following the US-led military invasion of Afghanistan in late 2001, Umar went underground and, according to media reports, died of illness in 2013 in Pakistan. However, his supporters have denied the report, claiming Umar passed away 9 years ago inside Afghanistan and was buried secretly to avoid the possible revenge of enemies. Omar, who was aged around 55 when he died, founded the Taliban in 1993 as an antidote to the internecine civil war that erupted following the decade-long Soviet occupation. Under his leadership, the Taliban introduced an extremely austere version of Islamic rule and introducing harsh public punishments, including executions and floggings. This comes after over a year the Taliban seized control of the war-torn country following a hasty US military pullout from Afghanistan last August.
The preservation work of centuries-old carpet script writing is in full swing at the Indian Institute of Carpet Technology in Jammu and Kashmir. Kashmiri carpets are known across the world for their superior quality and unique handwork done by artisans of the valley.
The preservation work of centuries-old carpet script writing, also known as Talim, is in full swing at the Indian Institute of Carpet Technology in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir. The practice of Talim is a unique method of manufacturing carpets and is distinct to the Kashmir region. Kashmiri carpets are very famous across the world due to their purity and unique handwork done by artisans. The coded script is a weaver's technical language and holds specific conventions to weave the design embedded in it. The digitization aims to promote this art and keep it alive for the future generation.
आज से 20 साल पहले ये जब से मॉडर्नाइजेशन नहीं हुई है, लोग हाथों से लिखते थे ये तालीम. तो ये जो है तालीम, इसमें बहुत कुछ ये होता था, जैसे पेपर्स पे हम मैनुअली लिखते थे. अगर एक कॉपी बनाते थे फिर दूसरी कॉपी बनाते थे, इसमें ह्यूमन एरर्स की बहुत इम्पोर्टेंस थी कि बहुत ज़्यादा होते थे इसमें. लेकिन चूंकि जब से ये हो गया है कंप्यूटराइजेशन, सारा कुछ हो गया है, हर एक फील्ड में ये चेंजेस आई हैं.
The officials at the institute said they have huge material to be digitized. The carpet industry of Kashmir has been one of the main contributors to the state economy, with firms exporting products across the globe, including countries such as Germany, France and the United States.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.